there, and just while I was waiting on my food, she spoke to me, and I was it was right. It was just magic from there. Right. You know, she was telling me she draw, and I was like, okay, well, I'm working on the activity book. I need your number. Let's connect. And it developed to her doing a mural for the doc, donated by the Sisterhood Foundation. So I would like to highlight her, let her introduce herself, and tell me what you're working on.
Okay. You can. My name's Letitia, Letitia Blewett, and today I'm just doing a mural that is really going to represent the dock. I think Miss Donna said y'all gonna have a review for it, right?
Right, but most of them know the collaboration or the collage of books that
Yes.
are going to be up there, like the 1619 project.
It was a lot of books. I told the ladies to think of books that they would want future Black women or Black people to read in general that they thought would be important. So they picked about 12 different books that will be featured on the wall. So it'll just look like another big bookshelf on the dock.
Oh, wow, that would be nice. They ought to put up there what my daddy should told me. Oh, yeah.
Make sure you ask. So one thing I want to highlight that just came to my mind about these events, we are really making positive Black connections. So if you're here in the Doc Bookshop and you come in with some energy, be ready to be filled with some good energy because the doc not only provides it, and I make sure that I provide it with the Sisterhood Foundation. So we're gonna have some good fun. We have 3 participants that want to participate in this activity. You want to participate?
No, I just walked back to my seat.
Okay.
Now you want to.
Get up out of there. Get up out of there.
Sit back down, brother.
You want to participate?
One moment. Okay.
Okay, so this activity is Battle of the Sexes.
Say it, man. Say it, ain't scared.
Our topic of discussion for this Men Talk Part 4, shout out to Part 4. This is going to kind of get us in tune and ready for our conversation for the men to come on stage. So I have some statistical questions. I will ask 3 questions. Once I ask the first question, you'll debrief with each other, with your teammates, and then y'all will debrief, and then we'll see who has the correct answer. Okay? She said she gonna take your ass.
Make sure y'all shop with the vendors.
Okay, this is according to Black demographics. What percentage of Black women are married?
The 3 up front.
Percent, 25%. You ready?
Okay, what's your answer? Well, hold on.
Oh,
You know it's ladies first.
I know. Yeah. Let him write it down too.
Yeah, let him write it down.
Okay, cheat. Who's gonna say that? I can go too high now. It's not that. That's to date or back in the
I'm
60s?
gonna repeat the question. What percentage of Black women are married?
To date? Yeah. I know. I don't know. Like 25, 30. The six black households. Yeah, so pistol pop in and but the bottle pop, booty pop, yeah, everything pop. But house. All right, fight for family for you. Got that look first meeting. Oh, this is on the US page, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so the women said 40% and the men said 30%.
They gotta be home.
And the correct answer for this question, what is the percentage of Black women that are married? The percentage is 27%.
That's bad. That's bad, yeah. Nothing to celebrate.
They can register in a little bit. Okay, so
See what I'm saying?
this question, number 2, what percentage of Black men are married? Same question, but with men.
That's 40.
What percentage of Black men are married?
I know you're not.
Married outside the marriage?
That's just married. Any race? They actually married. Any race are black.
Yes.
Over here. We don't. So they don't care about that. No, seriously, they people that. Most of them have short ways for me. And they outnumber us. They outnumber us in the big community. Yeah, we get mistake. We don't care for us. See, they said maybe so we gotta do it twice. Thursday.
Yeah, they always look.
Right.
Yeah, the first time.
Sure. Turn this one. No, the input.
Okay, so the question was,
Check.
what percentage of Black men are married? The women said 52%, and the men said 45%. The correct answer is 34%.
Wow. Wow. Total population. Talking about.
Yes. So it's 2-1. This is not pertaining to Black relationships, but it's pertaining to Black culture. Okay? Do grits come with, no. Sugar or salt on your grits?
Good energy. I don't think that's
Okay.
fair.
That's not fair. That's only a Texas thing. Okay. Okay, let me get back on track. Thank you. Okay, cool.
You know, like, she's not only them. They both white.
They both white. Okay, Mr. Ricky, tell us about it.
They both white and not healthy for Black people.
Right. But we gonna eat it sometime. Anyway.
Okay, the last question. The score is 2-1. What is the divorce rate total for Black men and Black women? The total percentage.
75%.
Actually,
You said
You 2 times in. You 2 times.
And y'all think about these numbers and think about what we're talking about, because this should register with some folks, but we need some work.
yeah,
We need some work.
that's why you having this presentation today.
Twice. We can't be married. But that's probably like, no. What you want?
Another. European. I need another pen. Oh, this one.
I don't know, they think.
That one right there, girl.
Okay, I'll repeat the question. What percentage total between black men and black women divorce? The divorce percentage?
God damn. God damn. I don't want no black love. Damn,
They say 100%.
For the men said 55%. And for the women said 60%. Y'all didn't give us no credit.
no, that's I agree.
Okay, this is according to Black Demographics, U.S. Census Bureau 2023 community survey, and the correct answer was 24%.
2020 plus.
It's that much more.
Well, but that counting as the
Social media, I told y'all social
It
media
doesn't
control
provide
pussy.
credit. It
Make
just says
niggas.
community census.
Yeah.
And it is 2 years old too though. So.
Oh, okay.
Nah, it ain't another 2
It
years.
says 31% of Black Americans were married compared to 48% of all Americans.
Yeah, it was what they were, what their status was at that time. It's more than that.
It has increased.
4% were equal, were divorced at the time, but the married ones are remarried after divorce. They're on the second or third marriage.
Right.
So.
So I think it's just, and then the percentage of never married is pretty high amongst Black men and women. It's 50% have never been married.
Yeah, I follow.
So with this conversation with Men Talk Part 4, so the men won 3-1. I mean, I'm sorry, 3-0.
Hey.
Let's give it up to the men. Thank y'all very much for participating. I appreciate y'all for participating. So we're going to get this party started. This is Embracing Men Talk Part 4. Ladies, I really appreciate y'all for participating. So I'm gonna tell you briefly how this got started. Sister Sunday, we meet once a month here at the bookshop, and we provide food for the ladies, and we just talk and have a good time talking about different topics. And so for February, the board members of Sisterhood, we were here at the bookshop. We were just talking like, how can we include the men? And one of the board members was like, let's do a men panel. And I was like, really? I said, okay, let's tell me more. So I said, so we'll have the men up here talking, and then we'll have the women in the audience listening. That's like, yeah. So we didn't plan for it to go past one. We just said we're going to invite them in our space one time. One time. But the success from the first event was so phenomenal, so good. It was good vibes, good energy, great business connections being made. We went on to part 2. And then after part 2, they was like, nah, you got to keep coming with it. Let's make this happen. We're doing a good thing for our community. So we did part 3. And now here today, we are here for part 4. So we're going to make it bigger and better. We got some good food over there. We're going to eat good, and we're going to have some good conversation. One thing I like to say about the sisterhood events is no judgment zone. You come as you are, you represent who you are, and you stay true into who you are. No judgment, positive vibes only. Okay, so without further ado, I would like for someone to volunteer to bless the food. So I want to feed you all so we can get into this good conversation. Have any volunteers? Oh, you volunteer, Mr. Ricky? Mr.
What?
Ricky,
Mr. Rich.
our special guest.
Bless the food, bless the food.
And if y'all can all stand in unity, so we can bless the food. Thank y'all very much.
Heavenly Father, we come to you boldly saying, thank you for being God, all about it. Thank you for last night laying down and this morning waking up. Thank you for the fact that the four walls of our room were not the four walls of our team. Right now, God, we come thanking you. Some of you may call you Jah, Amen, Ra, Jehovah, Jireh, Allah, or the Creator. I just simply say God, who's the most gracious and the most merciful. We ask that you bless this food and make it nourishing for our bodies and our mind. We give you all the glory and the honor. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ricky. So you all can enjoy some food. We're gonna take about 5-10 minutes to eat and kind of network with each other, and then I'll have Lynn come on stage to get started for the panel discussion. So, it's free food, so don't help yourself. We have some, pasta from Mama's Garden, salad, breadsticks. So enjoy yourself. Let's have a good time.
I just ate some.
Me too. We went to this barbecue club at the Lakey and Lakey.
Oh, I ain't. I was like, wait, you go?
No, I did, but like they fighting even earlier and they kept getting delayed. So like they fighting into like 8 minutes. But he got some mall and stuff. Oh, for real? Yeah, we see the game. Yesterday, we did once a quarter. Oh, we were like, okay, that sounds good. But it's we did domino. Like fries and stuff. We did like 200 for like that.
Yeah, I was they love it. And get a chance to be somebody pop-ups, but they can sell it to try. Which one day was it? I just keep it on that. Sorry, she would have said 6. I yeah, I checked. Where's he? I got legacy bar. Legacy bar. See, yeah. Damn, socialization, rock, it's all, certified, rock, right? Building each part of it, right? I get a building to the boss, man. I show you, it hurts too. It was not like, no. It's a church, small church.
You're listening to.
Well, but no, Dallas, wow, yeah, well,
No, like, I just wonder if,
I'm not a special guest.
yeah, I'm like, how do you get out on Sunday? Like,
I just hear that, man. I love it. I don't meditate.
good thing you just live around the corner, right?
Yeah. Okay, well, everybody's on the garage car. When it's 30 to 40, 40 to 55. What did I say? 30 to 40, 30 to 40, 40 to 55.
30, I know.
I 30. I 30 to 40. You know, want to get to Chicago. I'm to yes. 40. It's on. Texas, Texas. 40 picks up. 55, which is south, like 55. I mean, I'm 60. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to be graduated. What are your mother? My mom's situation. You want us like
Are you on the panel?
Yes.
You on the panel too, sir? How many people come?
Yes.
okay, everybody, all the lights here.
I think about 9. I sit on stage. He's our guest. I know that's not. All 3.
You smell?
I just need 2 I'm moving so you can get in. So you can get in. That's what I'm moving. Okay. I'm moving that wall. Oh. I was hoping I'd get it. Thanks.
Yes, I am.
Let me know when you're ready.
I'm coming up. Keep on. He can invite you. Look at both folks. Come to all like Yes, you do. Shaking out. One Sunday I gotta go connect my like
I think it's one.
I'm playing whatever it is. I'm playing video game, even that. Yeah, about it. You got it. Right, so so somebody need to put a chair. I got something that's stool right there. This is horrible work. And I love it. I need to take a picture right here.
Okay, y'all, we're gonna go ahead and get started. Like I said, I'm about positive connections and I about Black culture. One thing I like to do with our events, I like to highlight talent. I like to highlight us, especially us and what we're doing in the community. This was not a part of the agenda. I made it a part of the agenda. We have a singer. I will let her introduce herself. She's going to do a piece. For me, I want to highlight her. I want to highlight her voice. I believe in highlighting Black talent, and so I added her to do this special piece before we go on into our introduction with the main talk. Thank y'all.
I see you change here. So it's nice.
I did. That was specially made for me.
Oh.
I had to showcase them.
All right.
Hi, everybody. My name is Tia Cherie. And I don't mind my phone. I'm going to be reading the words because I'm not going to read the words. It's all right. All right. But if y'all know the song, I'm sure y'all know the song, at least the hook of the song. So y'all can join me as we sing the song. It's called Brother by Angie Stone. Rest in peace, Angie. He is my king, he is my one. Yes, he's my brother, yes, he's my son. I can talk to him because he understands everything I go through and everything I am. He's my support system, I can't live without him. The best thing since sliced bread is his hug, his lips, his touch. And I just want the whole world to know about my Black brother. I love you, I'll never try to hurt you. I'll want you to know that I'm here for you for whatever you, cause you're my black brother, strong brother. There is no one above you. I want you to know that I'm here for you forever true. He's misunderstood. Some say that he's up to no good around the neighborhood. But for your information, a lot of my brothers got education. Hey, Wall Street brother, you blue collar brother, you're down for whatever, chilling on the corner brother, a talented brother. Hey, and to every one of y'all behind bars, I love you, my black brother. I love you. I'll never try to hurt you. I want you to know that I'm here for you forever true. Cause you're my black brother, strong brother. There is no one above you. I want you to know that I'm here for you forever true. You're my black brother. Hey, I'll never try to hurt you. I want you to know that I'm here for you forever true. Cause you're my black brother, strong brother. There is no one above you. I want you to know that I'm here for you. Hey, you mean so much to me. You give me what I need. I'm so proud of you. I love you for staying strong. You got it going on. I'm so proud of you. Going through thick and thin, brothers, you're gonna win. I'm so proud of you. Whenever you're facing down, brothers gonna work it out. I'm so proud of you, cause you're my black brother, strong brother. I'll never try to hurt you. I want you to know that I'm here for you. You're my black brother, strong brother. I'll never try to hurt you. I want you to know that I'm here for you forever true. Hey, black brother. Hey, I love you. And I want you to know that I'm here for you for whatever true.
All right. Woo.
Y'all, please make sure y'all follow her. You want to let them know where they can follow you at, please.
You can follow.
Come on. Come on, please. I am on social media as Tia Cherie, that's TIASHAREE. And on Instagram, I'm Tia Cherie 777.
Can we give her another round of applause? She did that on the spot, y'all. This is not planned, and I appreciate you very much, Queen. Thank you very much. Okay, so without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and get started with our introduction. We'll just pass the mic. We'll go from my gentleman here, and then on to you. Okay, you'll be the last to, and then I'll go back on. Okay, say your name, if you have a business, what you do, and how you got involved in the Men's Talk Part 4.
My name is Justin.
Oh. Please, don't let that happen. You should be sitting up there.
I'm Winston Holloway, and I'm an advocate at the shelters. I mentor for I'm tripping my
Boy Smith.
name of it, but
Boy Smith.
no, well, them too.
Okay.
And I have a whole business, and the way I got connected with this was through a partner. He ain't even here,
Mhm.
but he told me about it. He know I like doing things like this. I've done it before, so that's it.
Okay, I'm Mitch, aka the Black Aristocrat. Y'all know what I do best, construction, security, music, you feel me, on all platforms, the Black Aristocrat. My name is Derek Durden. I'm a motivational speaker and author, also a coach. I have the business of Derek Durden LLC, which is a personal brand. I'm also the board member, board president for an organization called Torch. It's assists teenagers from going from high school to college and even into the workforce. My name is Malcolm. I'm in sales right now, but I do work with young men and young women to help further themselves in entrepreneurship, help them try to build business, flesh out their ideas, things of that nature. But I was gonna say a whole bunch of, I missed out on the first few. My name is Lee. I was here for the first men's talk, but I missed the first two after that. So, you know what I'm saying? I don't know exactly what you guys have already discussed, so I don't really want to spend too much on me. I just want to say it's fantastic and beautiful that Black people coming together for positive things, and this just shows that we can come together not for the drama and the mess all the time. And I just want to say thank you for everybody that came, and hopefully we can take this and build on it even further.
My name is Damian Robinson. I'm CFO for the Brothers. We definitely make sure that we try to help the brothers from 18 to 24 to have life skills. We mentor those young brothers to have life skills for when they get out and for life. I also have I'm a financial professional. So, Revolutionary Financial Management is my company. So if anybody's looking for financial audits, advisement, or, any consultation like that, I do that for free. So feel free to reach out to me. Thank you.
Brandon Powell, I'm a business therapist, and this is my fourth time being part of the men's panel. I'm grateful to be here.
Both ways, my name is Cecil, whatever my name school out there. I am Fort Worth. That's why I feel like it. I'm born and raised here, been here for 6 decades. Anything you want to know about Fort Worth, pretty much, I can lay it out for you. Well-traveled. I'm a global citizen. Believe in actually trying to touch the diaspora wherever I can. Into some other things entrepreneurially wise. I try to keep those on lock, but conversations with me, and I do think we're on the forefront of doing things. I do have a nonprofit called Peru Community Development Corporation. We try to focus on getting things together, like through history. We were able to bring William McDonald Gooseneck Bill Day to Fort Worth, the first Black millionaire in Texas. And we build our curriculum around him as far as financial literacy. And then also, because I'm a veteran also, we're also going back and diving back in there and going after our brothers and sisters and actually taking the things that we were historically around us, like the 688. We're doing some things for the women with that right there. And then also, we're actually getting a group of young men together to bring, because we have the only Tuskegee Airmen American Legion here in Texas, right here in Fort Worth. We're actually starting a group called the Young Red Tails, and we're going to train them to be drone pilots.
Thank you.
Well, my name is Derek Simmons. Do sound and lighting production. So if you ever need any sound, any lighting, video, podcasts, and I also have a content studio right here in Fort Worth. So if you need to do any content creation or anything, I'm blessed to say this is my fourth time.
Yeah.
Thought it was only going to be one, but then like you said, it was great. It was awesome. So thank you for inviting me again for that. And so this is what I do. I love to give back. And so I'm excited to come again.
Thank you very much. Okay, let's give these gentlemen a round of applause. And last but certainly not least, our special guest. This is his first time on Men Talk. However, he's a phenomenal community activist. He's been a motivation to me. He's been a mentor to me. Anytime I call him, he's coming. Anytime I have a question, he say, "Get him, call me." That's all. Every time I see him or I talk to him, he say, "Call me." And when I call him, he answers. If he doesn't answer, he's going to call me back. He's the one to be connected to in this community. He loves Black culture. He is Black culture. And I would love to for y'all to welcome Mr. Ricky Clark.
Thank Amber. I know I'm thanking Amber. That's all the stuff she said. I paid her to say it. I appreciate it. I can pay her to do it. Oh, and do what now?
The camera, I told you.
Oh, I'm not in the camera.
Go ahead and take the mic out.
Glad to be here. Sorry about that. Thank you for having me here. All the things she said are right. But I like to identify myself as the Black man, right? And I'm going to do it poetically. I am the Black man. Some know me as Imhotep, Ramses, Martin, or Malcolm. Others know me as a man on the corner or in jail. I am both Detroit Red and Malcolm. But from this day forward, I have pledged my life to the liberation of my people. I put God first in my life, and women feel safe when they see me. I have been a loving, responsible, encouraging husband. I talk to, listen to, hug, and educate my children. I am supportive of role model scouts and rites of passage. Why? Because I'm a Black man, the original man, the one and only man, the one that others are afraid of, because they know that whenever we give the opportunity, we succeed. And that's a poem by Dr. Jawanza Kwajufu, one of our ancestors. So thank you for having me here. I promise not to be long, but I do promise to be strong. Thank you.
Okay, as you all heard, our wonderful men introduce themselves. Shout out to the Fantastic Four, the guys that came up here for 4 times. I appreciate y'all for coming out. This is wonderful. Y'all look at this. This is Black excellence. Thank you all for showing up, coming out, and supporting our people. So let's go ahead and get this party started. I'll take my seat and start with the questions. Okay, and once I start asking the questions out of respect for each other, let's limit our responses to 2 minutes. We have quite a few. You say if that. Yeah. We have quite a few gentlemen on stage, so let's respect each other. 2 minutes. And towards the end, if we have enough time, I would have some ladies. If you have any questions that you're itching to ask, please don't hesitate to let me know. We'll have a time for that. Okay, our first question. Do Black men feel that they can be completely honest with Black women? Why or why not?
A real man would always be honest, because if you're not being real, then you're not a man. You avoid masquerading as a man. So if they're not being honest, you're talking to a child. Without a
Me and my brother, we like to have real conversations, but if you're gonna say you want to keep it real, you have to have a level of realness when you're giving any type of criticism or direction or feedback to somebody, so that way they can receive the information without being want to have a rebuttal or reject what you're saying because they're not listening to it because they feel like you came at them the wrong way. So you got to kind of keep it real, but how real you're going to keep it. So yeah, you want to keep it real, but you still have to keep in mind you don't want to offend somebody, you don't want to upset them, and you don't want to hurt their feelings while you're keeping it real as much as you can.
Well, I'm gonna say, you always want to be honest, but the comfortability that you have with the woman also depends on that too. I'm kind of feeding off what he's saying too, because if y'all don't have that type of open communication, it's hard for any type of conversation that y'all have, especially when it's touchy. So if y'all have that open communication, it's always easy to be honest. You know what I'm saying? Because there's always a way to say things. There's a wrong way and a right way to say it. You know what I'm saying? If you say it with respect, and you know what I'm saying, you know how to talk to this woman, then yeah, it'll be easy to be honest. But if y'all don't have that, then it's gonna be hard, but you still gotta say it because it's gonna come in.
I would say, kind of follow what Ricky said. Yeah, you definitely want to be honest and and be the man and have that communication. But like you said, you do have to know who you're talking to and make sure that you're, you know, forming that conversation in a way. Because again, sometimes, you know, even though you're being honest, sometimes you got to tiptoe around some situations and some conversations because, you know, they might not take it the right way. So you got to make sure that you're being honest, but at the same time, delivering it in a way that's going to be palatable to the person that's receiving it.
In the words of my well baby boy, some unstable creatures. Emotion comes in to tell the truth of one, especially if it's harsh truth. They accept truth. They may not mess with you after, but they accept truth. You know what I'm saying? So and it's hard because if you want the woman, you do what? You get a little white lie because you don't want her to run away from the truth. Because whether we want to face it or not, everybody can't take the truth. We can say all we want to. Everybody can't take that truth. That truth would knock you down. Then you look up, you hurt, and then if you actually look at it, you hurt for nothing because it's what you asked for. So then you get a man that's actually present with what he say. You know what I'm saying? Like truth up the gate, because you got to give it out to you in the front. Then you go in towards the back, and then that's when the emotions come in. Women because women been bred in today's society to be everything. So if it don't go their way, what happens? They get the power. Right, exactly right. Women pout a lot, especially if they'll get their way. They get the pout. So, and if you tell the truth, come in and say, you know, we can't afford this, especially in Russia, we can't afford this because we need to do this. Well, we need to figure it out. Or we do this, or you might even come on the side, homeboy, or something. Like you got to like. So sometimes you got to want the truth. And you know what I'm saying? When you on this, sometimes you just gotta avoid it at all. But you don't say that at all. You know, like, well, let me put that. You know, they come back around or something. Like I say, the unstable creatures.
Okay. This is men talk, so we're gonna let them talk. We're gonna break it.
Before you get busy, Rick. Okay, so we're talking about something that's kind of a
No,
double-edged sword.
before you say that, I didn't turn the mic on. Turn the mic.
I just want to make sure that when we're speaking up here, it's an I statement. I believe, you're not speaking for all men, because I couldn't agree with all of that. So I hold that. That's why I wanted the microphone to say that when we're speaking, it's an I statement. I believe, because these are our thoughts, but it's not men's, because all of us don't agree with that. All right, that's all I wanted to say. Sorry.
Okay, so this is it's kind of a double-edged sword. So should you be able to be honest with the person that like you want to share your life with, the person that you may just be sharing a bed with? Yeah, absolutely. You should be able to. But there's a hard difference between the way things should be and the way things are. And that's with anything. And like pretty much the general idea up here has been spoken on. It does depend on who you're talking to. Hey, because like you might be talking to family members that you feel like you can't be honest with. But should you be honest? Absolutely. That should be the rule of thumb. But direct communication requires an open and understanding heart. Because, like brother said, hey, look, they might not want to share the bed with you afterwards, man. They might not want to deal with you after you tell them the truth. Should you do it? Absolutely. But I think with everything comes balance.
I just want to say to my queen back there, y'all go get some words back there. But I'm coming up on 4 years. I tried. Because of grace through conversation and purpose, I operate. Love is already there. We conquered the love thing. So our purpose now, we're working on legacy. So who's going to come behind us? What we're going to leave for them? So the mistakes I made, we had a chance to actually be to work out. So that when I'm engaged with another brother, or people are looking at me, they see that where we at now and where they can be, so they can actually avoid some of those pitfalls that I may have put in the way because of how I was. And so now that's where I'm at. So I can say, yeah, honesty. Now we're on the honesty tip. The honesty tip is the better way to go.
To say specific with the question, I would say we're quickly going to the fact of being honest with women. I think as men, to the point it was made, I think it starts with us being honest with ourselves. And I think it's hard to be honest with yourself if you don't know yourself. And so if any one of you have been here before, we've touched on that before, on identity and vision. And so if you have internal chaos, then you're going to project that anyway, regardless of whatever it sounds like. And I think the second thing is honesty is not a license to be rude. I think you can still employ being palatable, knowing how to speak in a way that, what's the intent? Is my intent to be honest just so that I can just say whatever is true? Or is my intention to reconcile or change course correct behavior? And if it is difficult as a man, I'm going to say something knowing that there could be a consequence, and I'm okay with it.
I've been both, to be honest. Yes, I think it's better to be honest. I haven't always been that way. I thought you could get away with lying, and I thought that they didn't want to hear the truth, really, because, I said, if I tell the truth, my agenda is greater than their agenda. So, I might be a little different. I'm an old straight shooter. I shoot straight from the hip. So that's how I was. I used to lie. Sometimes I get put in the hard side. I lie to them. But now, as I'm older, I realize I didn't have to lie to get what I want. I can tell the truth, and if they don't want it, I go with somebody that do want it, and that'll put up with it, or or that like what I'm dishing out. Period, point blank. So I think honesty is the best way now because it actually gives them a choice. And so it's not always easy though, but I think that's the best way.
As adults, period, honesty has always worked, and I agree with just about everybody. We have to work through those situations. Even when you're being honest, if you know that honesty can hurt somebody, you still should be conscious of what you say. Speak impeccable, don't take it personal, and don't assume. So I'll think that about that when I'm speaking to this woman. I love that song by N.D.I.R.E. where she says, talk to her. Talk to her like you want somebody to talk to your mama, your granny, your auntie. You will talk to them. So whatever it is, even when I'm giving the truth to my mother, who I love and dare, or my grandmother, even when I'm speaking in truth, I'm also speaking in kindness.
For me, I think that honesty is just a byproduct. The foundation of it is integrity.
That's right.
So if your words and your actions are in line, then you don't have to worry about honesty because that is a byproduct of who you are as a person. So for me, I think that, like you said, it starts with self. Whatever you bring into the relationship is really what's inside of you. So for me, it starts with integrity, and honesty is only a byproduct.
Thank y'all. Okay, the next question. What does it take for a man to be emotionally vulnerable enough to communicate?
That's why it's called emotions. You gotta get in touch with themselves. You can't be emo. You can't do it unless you do it to anybody else. There's a couple of books I would encourage you to read. One is called What Happened to You. The other one is called It Didn't Start With You. And the third one says The Body Keeps Score. And it's also In My Grandmother's Hands. I think a lot of us, talk about epigenetics. A lot of this stuff we're dealing with people, it's been passed down from one generation to the next. And if you're not emotionally stable enough to deal with that, and don't think that it's not you, everybody deals with it. All of us is the word epigenetics says something means it's compound, meaning you're building off of something that was already there. And so we have to learn to forgive our parents too, because they can only give us what they had, and vice versa. But once you become aware of it, to be emotionally attached or be emotionally vulnerable goes back to what my man said, integrity. Doing what's right when ain't nobody watching. Because if I give it to you real with the integrity in mind, then you know who you're dealing with. I've had relationships with women who've been dealing with psychological information, dealing with something psychologically, and I knew they were dealing with that, right? But was I strong enough to handle it? And sometimes there are holes in relationships that we cannot plug. The analogy of a bucket, you got the bucket, and in this bucket, there's lots of holes in it. It can be respect, it can be this, it can be finances, but one of them says mental. And if you can't handle that one, there's nothing you can do about it. So be conscious of the people that you're dating. It ain't like something wrong with them. All of us dealing with something. Every last one of us. But when I'm looking at you, I'm reminded of the fact that it didn't start with you, right? But even though I know it didn't start with you, am I man enough or male enough? He ain't got to be the man, just the male enough to be able to handle it. And if you can't, then you may need to step away from that relationship because you're not helping her or you. And when you destroy the root, you destroy the tree. I'll stop right there.
I'm gonna jump in there at what he said. I'll say men need to check your ego in order to be able to really be humble enough and vulnerable. Like if I can laugh in front of you, I can cry in front of you. I don't care about all that. You know, they can say real men don't cry and all of that. You know, you lying to me.
That's right.
Yeah, I can get sued. You know, the same dude that's crying in front of you, the same dude that's gonna slap that dude when he come to try to, do something wrong to you. You know, so for me, I have to check my ego, know that you don't have it all together, I don't have it all together, and teamwork is what's making the dream work.
Right.
And so we ought to be able to be humble enough to be vulnerable.
That's right.
You know, because I know we all work, like you say, we all working on something. And so I think that if we check our ego, then it'll take us further.
I was gonna say, just kind of building on that, it's like, sometimes, in the past, I've dealt with relationships and stuff, and you've been vulnerable, feel like you could be yourself and just be who you are in those relationships. And a lot of times, my partners have turned that against me, and used that against me. So in future relationships, I limited. I would test because everybody's on their best behavior when you're first getting together. So I would test, throw out certain things emotionally that I'm not really gonna take offense to once they throw it back in my face, just to see how they handle me being emotional and then I would continue to kind of unveil more emotions and things like that to them going forward. But just open out this being, crying on the shoulder. No, I'm not doing that out gate. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be myself, I'm gonna be a man, and I'm gonna just limit that emotions until I see how they're gonna deal with it and react to that. Certain things emotionally that
There's a concept out there. Again, trust but verify. So, like my brother said right here, you have to know who you're talking to. You can't give everything to everybody. And that's emotional, physically, financial. You're not out here giving everybody your bank account information. Y'all just met, right? Okay. So you have to learn who you're dealing with. But like everything else, there is a balance to it. You have to know who you are, and you have to know what your triggers are and say, hey, look, this is something that I'm reacting to. So I might not share that with you right now. But you still have to be able to be open. If you don't have the ability to be able to do it at all, then it doesn't matter who you're talking to. It doesn't matter if she's the most receptive woman on the face of the earth. Because if you can't open up to her, then what good is it do?
For me, I believe that first of all, before you can be vulnerable with somebody else, you have to go through that process of understanding your emotions and how your past traumas and experiences have affected you. And then once you're able to deal with that, once you're able to heal, once you're able to go through that process, then you can be honest and open and vulnerable, because it doesn't matter what that person does with that information or not. A lot of us talking about what the other person is and trying to, dictate what they do with that information. But if you dealt with it already, there's nothing they can use as ammunition against you if you've already dealt with it.
Okay, for me, the answer to the question is yes, we can. You just got to be heard.
Just gotta be what?
Just got to be heard. She know what to do. She know what to do. Prime example. What did Erykah Badu do to Common Sense in Andre 3000? Turned their whole career around. Them cats went from dressing the sagging plans to a woman knows what she can do. And if get us open up, a woman know what to do. Her, she know what to do. In my opinion.
Okay, so trust. What kind of trust do y'all have with each other? A lot of times you come into a relationship and y'all trust is all fucked up. So you cannot open up if both of y'all hold back. You know what I'm saying? If you holding because you like, man, I'm trying to wait for this and wait for that. So how are you gonna ever get to know each other? If you don't want to tell this person all of your emotion and who you are, you would never know that person. And the only reason people hold back from doing that is because their trust is fucked up. So once you fix yourself before entering another relationship, and you fix yourself and you get your trust back for yourself to be like, you know what? I can jump off the ledge when I enter this. I can go ahead and give myself to somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Basically, I can step off a leap of faith and trust I'm gonna be good. You know what I'm saying? So whatever your trust level is, that's how much you're gonna be able to give that next person. You know what I'm saying? These past 50 people that you done messed with back in the past, they done kind of, you know what I'm saying? They might have messed you up, so you might need to slow your roll before going into another relationship. And that too. You know what I'm saying? Because now you like, you get that mindset, that's when everybody be like, oh, everybody's the same. Everybody's not the same. You know what I'm saying? Every woman I done talked to have been different. Nobody's the same. You know what I'm saying? You might see similar traits, you know what I'm saying? But they are not the same. And every person will teach you something. They will build you if you look at it the right way. You know what I'm saying? This might have been a fucked up relationship, but what did I gain from that? You're gonna gain something. You're not gonna come out empty. So I promise you. I promise you. Every woman that built me to who I am now in a relationship, but I'm not gonna lie about that. I ain't tell you how many it was.
Well, you managed to inspire our artist back here. She chimed in. She's gonna write a book about you. So there's three words that come to mind to me. So we're talking about emotional vulnerability, and so I really like to stick to the question. So I think about, in order to be emotionally vulnerable as a man, you need to be emotionally intelligent. And that's a journey within itself. Um, then there's the other side of it, outside of vulnerability, then there's emotional maturity. So you can't really get to being vulnerable unless you understand your own intelligence of your emotions, and then you don't know your maturity. Maturity is connected to your threshold, and then that creates your standards. So as men, we're not. You can be two extremes. You can look for a person who can nurture your challenges to mother you, which I've shared my opinion of that. I'm not looking for a mother, but on the other end, you can kind of be walled off and not be accessible. And so I think that's a journey within itself. For me, it's a beautiful thing when you can create safety and you can feel safe. And you can use words like, hey, I told you this because I feel safe. I didn't tell it to you because I'm spilling. And as a man, we have that logic, right? If I had a bad day, I'm probably gonna, unless we're married, I'm probably gonna call another man first because we're problem solvers. But if I share this with you, you may be emotional about it, but I'm choosing to give that information to you because I feel safe, which is different.
Yeah, go by the name school. That S in school stands for study to show yourself approved. Self-examination. Check yourself out. Go through you and find out what you need to do. One of those O's in there is like, it's for overstanding. So first, and all you get an understanding. When it comes down to a relationship with another, if you are going to have that relationship, you want to overstand. So whatever that person needs from you, you already know how you can give it without upsetting the balance.
Let me sprinkle just a little bit on here. To sum up what I feel like everybody pretty much said with one word would be balance, because we're all dealing with the emotions. I'm dealing with that the most because I don't know how to really show it the way most people would like to receive it. But a lot of people get very emotional in situations that should not even suggest you should be upset. You know what I'm saying? And so with this men and woman thing, the man is put in situations where he's not highlighted for showing emotions, and women are looked at for being too emotional. And so there's a lack of balance there. And we got to come to a point where you can see your woman's tipping over, and at the same time, you're not putting enough in. And y'all got to kind of bring those two together to balance it all out. Because at the end of the day, we're all working on ourselves. And as a partner or a spouse or anybody that you're dealing with, you would want to help them
Help me.
be a better person. If you see she's struggling, or you say something that may tilt her over the edge and vice versa, y'all need to address those issues.
And I think often, and I also think oftentimes it's important that we both do some research on ourselves. You know, we want to say it's the woman, it's the man, but I think we both need to do that, right? It's not one-sided. And so, yes, I may have dealt with some things that you may not have dealt with, but if I'm not working on it on myself, then I really shouldn't be in relationships with you. Because if I'm not working on what I have and you not working on what you have, go back to what he said, it's totally unbalanced, right? And anything, the earth, anything's unbalanced, it'll do what it takes to try to get itself in balance. That means now they're cheating, they drugging, and trying to get that other thing, other part that you don't have. But if I'm in the relationship and we agree to be in this relationship, then we should work on being balanced amongst ourselves before I can become balanced with you. Maybe sometimes when we need to step away, you know, and I don't know if they're doing it now, but we didn't say it before. I need to go get some counseling. I didn't say you, I didn't say we, I said I may need to get some counseling. I may need some therapy. I may need to work on some things because this thing ain't working and it ain't healthy for neither one of us, right? And when it ain't healthy for neither one of us, then other people see it and may confuse it with being solid when in reality it's all unbalanced, right? I wouldn't have to use the cuss word, but it's all unbalanced. And if that's what we seeing, then sometimes it become a cultural norm that it's okay to be like that. Yeah. That it's all right that people of African descent stay unmarried. I mean, when you heard her go through all those, and the sad part of it is, I don't know, I can't speak for everybody else, but that bothered me. And no percentage was high. Every last one was low. And if we talking about we love our family and love our community, but we can't stay together and be with somebody, then come on, right? We got to be honest and check it at the door, especially when we're talking about our emotions and being vulnerable and things like that. Yeah, you most of us, I mean, male and female carry it close to the chest. You can't just be vulnerable with everybody, but you need to know who that anybody that you will be vulnerable with. And I think the first one starts with what the brother said. It starts with self.
Thank y'all very much for your responses. This question, how has social media shaped your perspective on relationships?
I just want to wear some matching pajamas. That's it. All other stuff y'all can keep. This year, I'm wearing me some matching pajamas. That's it. I think it can influence you if you let it. But I mean, me, I don't think it really influenced me like that because I know what I want already. I know what I want. You know, I can be honest. I didn't want to match your pajamas, but it came along with the process. But I think kept showing up on my feet. Next thing I know, I'm looking down. I'm like, but I think it can have an influence on you if you allow it to. Because it's so much it's in the algorithms, you know, and so it becomes in the algorithm of your mind. You start looking at it, you know, you start looking at somebody that look like they ball and really look like they happy, you know. I know a lot of Facebook stuff that's real fake. Real. You know, man, I know y'all are, and I know what's going on with y'all. You know what I'm saying? Put something on there that's realistic. Yeah, I'm like, you know, I'm in video production. I'm like, this is a good show. You know, but so I think, you know, we shouldn't let it influence us like that. If you want to show your love, show your love. If you don't want to make yours public, don't make it public.
I've been purposely going last. I'm not doing it this time. If we keep this in the context as a man, there will always be some form of a distraction. This just happens to be one. So I think it really boils down to, as a man, and I've said this before in the previous panel, is 4 things as a man. Have we studied our generational curses, the habits and the things that we have passed down? Secondly, from that information, are you starting to heal? From that, have you started to form identity? From there, I can cast vision. And as I said last time, I've gone through that journey, and it's a continuous process. But I know exactly who I am, so I don't care what's on social media. Is it nice? Cool, but I keep it in perspective. I'm in business. When they sell a new car, why do you think they don't just show it to you on the dealership? They take it some winding road and it's looking nice. They're selling you the aspirational concept. That's just marketing. So if I'm not sure of who I am, I'll easily get pulled in by that. And if I don't know where I'm going. So I think that's, as a man, I think that's really foreign to me, because I mean, why would I get influenced? If I can be influenced by social media, then there's some other challenges going on.
I was gonna say, I mean, social media, I don't deal with social media. I mean, I have social media, but I don't let any of that influence me. Like I said, it's a distraction. If I am looking at it, it's pretty much just for entertainment, or, you know, a lot of times I see red flags that are like, okay, make sure I don't get a woman that acts like that, or these types of things or whatever. So it's more like that, because I know what I'm looking for. And a lot of times what I'm seeing there is not things that I'm looking for. So it's mostly like, okay, well, yeah, it is what it is. Like, you got entertainment, or like, wow, she crashing out, he crashing out. It's like, oh, that's something like that. It's crazy like that. I can't deal with any of that. So make sure I'm, you know, staying away from those type of things. Red flag number 20.
Okay, so in my opinion, I've used this term on a couple of the panels, but social cultural forces.
Yeah. Say it again.
Social cultural forces. This is a psychological construct put together to control the mind. It means control the media, control the mind. So and y'all heard the term algorithm. If this thing study pops up on your algorithm, that means that's what you're thinking. You know, so that's what you're constantly watching. So we can all say that we ain't been influenced by something, but everybody in this room, but everybody even watching this has been influenced by something, social media wise, whether physically, emotionally, or mentally. So in order to break change, you have to know the change is there. Mental change. Yeah. And that's especially with Black relationships. We got some of the hardest mental change up there, because we've taught to be separate from each other. You know, so we've taught to hate each other. We've taught to be combative towards each other. We taught to get defensive. You know, so we taught to try to talk over each other. You know what I'm saying? So of course we can say social media doesn't influence us in relationships, but yes, it does. All of us. You know what I'm saying? We can run from the fact and say we don't, but that's why it's a psychological construct. You already been tricked in your mind. You don't even know it. That's why it's called a mental chain. You would think you broke something, but the mental chain has a hold of you. So thinking it does influence, I know it influences me. I'm not even going to sit up here and lie and all that had influence. I've seen someone that said, I would never date a woman that done something like that. Or I would never see a dude, I would never be a man to do something like that. That's controlling the mind. That's telling you that's giving you what you don't want and what you do want. You know what I'm saying? It's giving you everything. It's just the terminology of everything, in my opinion.
He said his opinion, Ricky.
He's saying,
Okay, make that.
Oh, yeah, I was going to raise my hand.
No, go ahead.
Only the United States. And he said, I believe that it affects everybody.
It does.
To a certain extent. But for me, no, it don't. It influences everybody. No, it don't. It don't influence me. It don't influence me. So if it's influencing you by your likes or dislikes or anything like that, that is influencing you. But it's not influencing me. Right? And so I'm conscious of what I read or what I take in or what I take out. So I can see a whole lot of things. But if you pull it in, then that's the influence part. Just seeing it does not influence me. I see a whole lot of things. Hell, I see things in here may not influence what try. I know what attract me and what don't. I know what influence me and what don't. And you hear me say I can't speak for everybody else, but it probably do influence a whole lot of people. That's why a whole lot of people may be doing that. Yeah. But I'm not gonna base my decisions based on what I heard someone say. Right. On any media service. Not even today. I would do my own research, how it feels me and how it touched me. I will not say that doesn't do it for me. And that's only an ass statement. So I believe him when he says, but Yeah, I truly believe what you did. Yeah, you didn't have to rebuttal it. Yeah, he had to rebuttal it.
Last statement made me fall back.
Yeah, no, you don't have to rebuttal it. No. We don't do, I don't even do that. See that, even on the stage, I wouldn't do that. No, your opinions of what you put out is based on what you do. I know that we all on this stage right now, and it'll like affecting each and every one of us different. I'm sitting from where I'm sitting, you sitting from where you are, mine are from where I am, yours are where I or yours at. You can't solve mine from where you are, and I can't solve yours from where you are. But I can give you my opinion, my view from where I'm looking at it. We all sitting right here, and we would all describe this totally different. And different doesn't mean deficit.
Before you go on to any of the social media, this is the I statement too. I look at it from here, it's like, if you got your purpose and your thing is filled up with purpose, you can go on any social media and have it not influence you because you're going on there, you know what your purpose is. So you get to see these things and you get to discard that. Garbage in though, garbage out. So I'm not looking to put any garbage into my eye gate or whatever. So if it's there, I'm skipping past it. I have to hear it in passing from somebody else because that's not what I'm going on there for. So for me, it's all about what the purpose is that I'm standing up for.
So, kind of like what everybody has said, I feel like it's true. You know, and once you understand who you are, purpose, like you say, you understand who you are. This is gonna be on social media, but we're all seeing a lot of stuff that a person can use and gain from. Depending on who you are and who you understand you are, if you need this information or not. So if you go on social media and you don't even really know who you are, of course it can shape you. You know what I'm saying? Anybody can shape you. If you don't know who you are, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna be who this person wants you to be. But if you understand who you are and where you're at in life, you can go on social media and you can find things that help and you know how to disregard things that won't help you. You know what I'm saying? Just how strong are you in the mind? You know what I'm saying? If you're very weak-minded, yeah, you're gonna bring some of this stuff in social media into your relationship and it's gonna hinder. It's not gonna better it, it's gonna hinder it because somebody's weak-minded. You know what I'm saying? But that's what I believe.
Either meat spit out the balls, basically.
Thank you for sharing.
Like with everything else, anything can be a tool.
Yeah.
Anything can be an asset, anything can be a deficit to you. It all depends on how you use it. It depends on who you are as a person, whether or not you're going to use it to better yourself, or if you're going to damage everything around you. A hammer is just a hammer until you put it in somebody's hands.
Right.
Like you can use it to build a house with, or you get it about first 48.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with social media. Like a lot of our community gets off on the negative. It's very easy. It's like fast food.
Yeah.
Like it's, hey, snatch it up real quick. Doesn't require a lot of thought. Hey, boom, keep it pushing on to the next thing. Not realizing that you're taking that with you. You've consumed that. You didn't just watch it. Like you've consumed that. And now you're taking it with you throughout the rest of your day, throughout your week, and you're taking that negativity, that poison in, and you're impacting other people's lives. They don't know where you got that from. They think that's who you are. And if you do it long enough, that is exactly what's happening. It's becoming who you are. It shapes you as a person. So you have to be vigilant. And like you said, like your eyes are a gateway. And you have to guard them. Because if you're not vigilant, like you'll look up year, 5 years from now, you won't recognize yourself, and everything around you will be in total chaos. And you'll be wondering how it happened. Like all because you weren't vigilant enough to be like, oh yeah, hey, you know what? These people on Papa's Balloon probably don't know what they're talking about. Don't know y'all seem happy. Why would I listen to you?
Right.
But we love to take that kind of stuff in. Like it takes a lot more effort and energy
to remove that stuff. Like, you have to do an evaluation of who you are as a person. You gotta check your For You page. Like, hey, you scroll down and you're like, you know what? This ain't it. Ain't none of this helpful. Like, let me reevaluate. Let me shape my own algorithm.
Could you do me a favor and ask that question again? Because I think that some of us really missed the question.
The question is, how has social media shaped your perspective on relationships? Like relationships.
If I'm totally honest, social media has influenced me. Because what I know and understand is that social media is basically a mirror for the minds of the people for a lot of the people in society. And so when I look at social media and I look at these different shows or tap into the different videos, the views and perspectives of those individuals are representative of the people who I'm running into every day.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
Yeah.
and honestly, seeing the views and perspective of most women in my community, it has made me more cautious because I'm a single man and I know and understand my value. So I'm not going to attach myself to the views and perspectives of what I see regularly on social media. There's some good and there's some bad, but for the most part, the ones who are being promoted are the ones that are negative. So yes, social media has affected how I pick and choose the people who I choose to be involved with.
And social cultural forces.
I just know that my big society, being on social media, and they influenced by it greatly. I may not need a person. I might need a person. I need to be dating. You so influenced by what some other people are thinking are doing, and you ain't on your own stuff. I don't know.
So they're not gonna say that though, Rick. They're not gonna say that.
That's why I say you don't even know you influence. That's why I said social. You don't even know you influence. That's why I said chain mental. You don't even know.
Yes, real quick, without context, a lot of these conversations, we all are right based on our personal experience.
That's right.
Life is pretty much about our personal experiences. So real quick, a personal experience I had about 15 years ago, two random white guys walked up to me while I was working at Walmart back then. Maybe it was 20 years. Anyway, I was listening to my music. They stopped me. They asked me what music I was listening to. It was some rap music. We had a long conversation back and forth about why the music was not good for me and how it was influencing me. And I was having a conversation with him, explaining to him, yeah, I can listen to it. Doesn't make me want to go kill somebody. It doesn't make me want to sell drugs. It doesn't make me want to all of that.
Yeah.
To get to the point, years of experience, that conversation has always come back because even though you may feel like it's not influencing you, just like hanging out with if people smoking crack. If you're hanging out with them long enough, whether you smoke the crack or not, the tendencies, the habits, the conversations, you're going to get influenced. You can think that you have a mental stronghold on it, but if you're engaging in it, then you're influenced by it. Me personally, when I see it, it doesn't change my perspective because I've already known that half these people are crazy and shouldn't be in a relationship. It just highlights
What you already know.
and which ones I need to avoid. So it's really a blessing to me because now I don't have to experience all of the loonies. I go, oh, okay, I don't want that. I don't want that. And I just move this way and that way. So without context, yeah, we all right, but pretty much everybody here's experiences are those that are of truth.
Okay, I have a couple more questions. And ladies, if any of you have any questions that you want to ask, write them down and we'll continue when we have the time.
Speak out, baby.
One thing about me, I like with our culture, we can talk about it all day, but what are some action plans? What are some next steps? What are we gonna do next? So this question is, what are some things, some ways that you feel Black men and women should improve in communication to help with relationships?
jump out there.
Stop.
Stop lying. I said it last time. Stop lying, really. No, to improve the communication really is to really like what we saying, be honest with each other, and also put yourself in that other person's position. Kind of like what Ricky said, that everybody got, he didn't use this terminology, but everybody got a backstory. So why you doing what you do is totally different. I think I've mastered that to a certain extent, because when I, why you look, she knows me, so she's like, you mastered that. But I think I mastered it where I can look at myself and look at it from your perspective, not just my own perspective. I can look at it and say, okay, I wouldn't have done that. I'm not calling you stupid. I just wouldn't have done that. You know, so I think in communication, we need to look from that other person and be like, okay, you've done this because you're traumatized. The last person hurt you. You know, I never forget, I went to open up a car door for a woman one time, and she said, you're not going to hit me. I said, what? I said, I was reaching for the door, but she had been so traumatized, and that quick movement like that, she was ready to be about her business. And I'm like, no, I'm not gonna hit you. I'm just opening up, I'm just opening up the door. But I had to, and this was a sweet lady, but what I had to realize is she had been through that abusive relationship like that. So at that time, I had to make a conscious decision. Am I willing to pull this, and say, look, this is what I'm doing, or am I willing just to say, no, I'm not gonna deal with her because that's too much trauma. You know what I'm saying? So I think how we can heal it is just begin to look at it from somebody else's perspective, know somebody else got a backstory, and see are you willing to deal with it and handle it and communicate.
I just gotta know.
Yeah, he ain't sticking through.
You gotta get in the car.
Because I would just say, real quick, I would just say being open to the answers. Being, as far as communication, being open to the answers that you're going to receive, and not asking questions or not, rebutting with, animosity or anything like that. Just like I said, being open to having a good conversation and being open to receiving and having a back and forth conversation about what it is you're conversating about or conversing about or things like that. Not being combative. So I would say that would be what I feel needs to happen as far as communication between men and women.
First and foremost, we got to know and understand communication is a skill. That's something that you have to practice. So I think that in order to get good at communicating or enhance your skills of communication, first you have to get educated. You have to know and understand what are you doing right and what are you doing wrong. And then build on those strengths and get away from those negative things. Wherever you're weak at, remove yourself from those things. So I think that then apply those things. The things that you have learned, you have to apply. So communication is a skill that has to be practiced over time. And the more you practice, the better you get at it.
I want to say, when it comes down to things we can do better, you got two of these, the one of these. I think you need to use the two a little bit more to actually understand how to communicate what my brother just said. It's like there's a saying that when you fight for your convictions, you used to get to keep them. So if that's the stands that you take, and after the communication's been done, then I'm gonna leave you with them, because think you can do something or think you can't. Either way, you're gonna be right.
Okay, well, for me,
I'm still alive. He ready to start lying.
no, for me, I can't tell you how a woman should communicate with me, but I can tell you how I've put myself in a position to be a better communication. You know what I'm saying? So I've become more open. You know what I'm saying? I did counseling. I actually took counseling. You know what I'm saying? I know I was messed up. You know what I'm saying? So I took counseling. You know what I'm saying? I did the necessary things I need. You know what I'm saying? I become more humbler. You know what I'm saying? I used to be a very aggressive young man. past to tell you, but you know what I'm saying, I humble myself a lot. So when I come into a situation with a woman, you know what I'm saying, it's like you say, when you said earlier in your intro, I loved your intro. That's an amazing intro still. But he said women feel safe around me.
Yeah.
And this is one of the reasons why I'm also in security too. So I got like, if I show you my location finder, I got like 10 people in there and ain't none of my family is for like, why have I got your location? Because they know I'm gonna come. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, so I learned how to become more of a protector.
Yeah.
Because once you become more protector, it opens up all the doors. So when you protect someone, you listening better. You know what I'm saying? You open more. You know what I'm saying? You pay attention more. So it's like, so now that I've put myself in a position to become more of a better protector of a woman, then I know how to be a more communicator or, you know, wherever I need to be for that woman.
That was a bar, man. No, my personal philosophy is I statement. No, I do my best to make the women around me feel safe. But I think that I'm a lot better at it because I've done the work to make myself feel safe.
That part.
I'm a very even keel individual. Please don't come over here with that bullshit. But because of the way that I carry myself, you know, hey, guess what? I'm not letting that happen to me, and I'm damn sure not gonna let that happen to you. And anything, like my brother said, anything that you want to be good at requires practice. How do you get practice? You don't know where to start. How you gonna teach yourself? When you want to learn something, you need an educator. Mm-hmm. Go to therapy. Like there are people who have infinitely more understanding than you do about how to get better at the thing that you're trying to do. And in this case, it just so happens to be communication. You need skills and tools in order to build the house that you want to live in. And if you're not willing to listen to anybody else, if you're not willing to listen to somebody who is a certified expert, what do you think is going to happen when it comes time for you to talk to that person you claim you want to share your life with? You've got to be teachable. And a lot of times, hey, we're hard-headed. We don't want to listen. You have to be coachable. And you also have to be able to, you have to have enough discernment to be able to find somebody who you can trust with your education. Because, hey, I've been through 3 different therapists before I found the ones that I actually rock with. Shannon cool. Like, she knows what she's talking about. Hey, first view, I couldn't get with it. But Shannon cool. She helped me a lot. I appreciate her death. But no, you have to be willing to be coachable. You have to practice. You have to have the humility to be able to be taught. Like, because, hey, they're going to tell you something you're not going to like about yourself. Like, in quite a few things. Like, there's definitely some stuff that I have had to remove from the inside of me that I was real attached to. But, I mean, I say all that to say, like, it does take practice, but you also have to find a good coach.
In case any of you guys didn't know, this is my business partner. We started a company called White Legs.
White Legs.
White Legs.
White Legs.
You
don't know about that when you weren't here for person. That's right. White Legs.
One of the patterns that I've noticed, and I've been married before, and I've learned some great lessons from the experience, is how you, in a relationship context, how you treat each other on the way to clarity. So sometimes when a difference is sparked, a lot of times the actual point that's being argued or defended or offended is not what's being discussed. It's like by the time you get to the end of what it actually was talking about, how did you treat each other along the way? Because by the time you get there, now you're not only trying to solve the original issue, now you're dealing with the collateral damage along the way. And of course, that can be a loop.
Yeah.
And so the way that that's managed, and I like to deal with it from the standpoint of men, because I just believe as a leader, that's just my philosophy. And so finding out my own self-awareness, my own internal chaos, solving that creates a lot of clarity. So as a result, that's why social media, I don't really care about it, because I know what it is. It's you're curating your own experiences, but we do that same thing in our lives.
That's right.
So I create my own world. I don't have these weird ass, stories about dating challenges. Dating market is fine to me. You know why? Because I don't go to a swamp fishing for catfish, for bass. Like, why would I complain about that? And it's because I'm very intentional, as was already said. So creating that clarity within myself and then understanding and having self-awareness and understanding if I'm having a tense moment, having enough emotional maturity and awareness and intelligence to say, okay, let me reserve, and it's difficult, but let me reserve what's going on. And it's been so beneficial because by the time you get to the actual point, you realize you are about to go off on the wrong point, and having that patience to get to the actual point, you can actually solve the issue. And so that's my thought.
So understanding, communicating with understanding. That's a big part of it, because if you're speaking to somebody and they really don't understand what you mean, so it kind of starts back with yourself again, because you got to know yourself in order to tell this person, this is what I like, this is what I don't like, this is how I feel about this. You know what I'm saying? Because other than that, you're gonna keep on running up on things and you're gonna be like, I don't even really know how I feel about it. I don't really know myself, because I don't even know what this making me feel like. So if you don't understand how you feel, you cannot communicate with understanding to tell this person, this is what's happening. So it really still starts with yourself so that you can give properly, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? To give yourself to another person, you got to know yourself. So if you like trying to make this person understand, they like, you know what I'm saying, it's not coming across. It's not, it's not there. So it's like, I don't understand you because you don't know. And you know what I'm saying? And that can be frustrating. That'll really frustrate the two people in a relationship. So, and then you have to be willing to want to understand this person. Because if you're not willing to want to understand anyway, and you still in yourself like, sure, if it's my way or whatever, it'll never get across. So both of you got to be willing to be like, you taking two different worlds. I don't care if y'all grew up right next to each other. You taking two different worlds and bringing it together. That stuff hard. That's hard. You done been raised this way, and that person done been raised this way, and now you got to find a way to connect. You got to be willing to want to even go through that. So you got to understand, I'm not going to always like what you do. And you're not going to always like what I do. Understand it. You got to understand that for yourself. Like, you got to really embed that in yourself. Like, this ain't going to be perfect. It's going to be issues. But when you start going through the issues, if you're willing to understand and fix it, that's how you know what I'm saying? It just take a lot. It take a lot. And it take a lot for you to understand yourself. You know what I'm saying? If you don't understand yourself, that it's really, you really out of there. I'm just gonna be honest with you.
Before you say something, I want to say, all the gentlemen up here, I thank you for coming and sharing your point of views. Like I stated in the beginning, I'm going to my 4th year of matrimony with my missus. Being with that on this journey that we're taking or whatever, and we're talking about understanding each other, we're at the point to where even the things we don't understand about each other, we're willing to take that leap and discover something that we don't know. Because I'm looking for something every day to actually bring home. I'm a slayer. I want to slay something and bring it home to the house and say, baby, this is what we got. This is what I got for you today. What do you got for me today? I'm looking for that thing that's gonna make me leap. So she can give me something different, because it's like, you're going through the same thing over and over and over again, it becomes rote. And that's when it becomes, it becomes boring, things creep in, this and that, whatever. So all these new discoveries, I look forward to it. I look forward to what 50 is gonna bring. So that, I just wanted to say that because I don't know how many are at that journey, but like I said, we past the love journey right now. We still love each other and in love with each other, but we're working on legacy. So my thing is, what can I do to hand it down to the next generation come behind?
Last person I've ever did for you. What's the question? Yeah, you want the question to give us some power.
What are some things you feel Black men and women should improve in communication for relationships?
Communications for relationships with Black men and communicate. Learn to communicate. First thing we need to do is learn to communicate and understand that everybody's coming from their own perspective, right? They all got their own aspect. Let's say it together. They all come from their own perspective, their own experiences, and everything like that. And because we know that everybody comes from their own experiences, then we need to learn to communicate. And in learning to communicate, meaning that there are certain things that you can say, there's certain rules, there's lots of things that communicate. If there was another brother in the room that's an alpha, I can probably send a sign and we communicate. And maybe a sister in the room that we may know, I can look at her, we communicate. I know my mama knew how to look at me without talking and communicate. I don't know about y'all. Can do it without communicating, right? But what we need to do is get some clarity on it, right? So that means that sometimes when we're in a room with our significant other and one of us may be going somewhere else, that we may have some signs that mean, that one right there means you going in the wrong direction. That's right. You right on time. We can't keep that going, some signs to know, because that's true. We don't know. We have to learn to communicate with each other. I mean, learn to communicate with each other with this simple question. If I ask each one of us what love is, all of us going to define it differently. The way I want to be loved is different than the way you want to be loved. But if I can't define you how I want to be loved, then I may not be in love the way I want to be loved. I may be in love the way you want to love me. That's not my idea of love for yourself. Right? So communication is the key.
Okay, I have.
One quick.
I want to make sure we have.
You ready?
I mean, I really wanted to keep the timing back.
That's why
though,
shut up.
Yeah, I wanted to let, we don't all have to go every time. So.
Oh, okay, cool.
I'll go though.
Yeah,
One quick thing. I like what he was saying too. Just get them what they asking for. Like I always said that it'll make everything a lot of time. Ask the person.
Yes, you know.
No, ask them. That's the thing. Ask. What do you like this? Yes, I like this. Give it to them. I mean, it can cut down a lot of stuff. I mean, that was my takeaway.
Okay.
So I don't care what kind on. Mama always said, it cut a lot of time down. If I ask you, do you want this? You say yes, I give it to you. You ask me, do I want it? Give me what I asked
So
for.
when I ask you if I look nice, are you gonna be honest?
If she asks me, I'm gonna say yeah. But if it's a no, I'm gonna give a solution. Because I did.
You gonna say don't wear that red, wear the blue.
No, I would say I would prefer you to do that. You look great, first of all. I'm gonna say you look great.
Being honest.
If I want to talk, I'm like,
It's always been in some way, right?
it may not be nice, but I would give her some. Look, baby, that's nice, but I would prefer you to do this. You know what I'm saying? And it comes off a little easy. Not like I'm just dry lying. Yo, let me clean that up. Go ahead, man. Save me.
Don't say him. You don't want me to say
We listen and we don't judge. Real quick, I forgot to do this earlier. If we can, because this is a couple of our guys, fourth time being here, can we give a big round of applause to Amber for putting
Oh, yeah. Thank
But to that real quick, let me just say,
what we can do better is the support system as a whole.
can be better. I hear a lot of y'all speaking about seeing psychiatrists and going to therapy. Me personally, I don't have any experience with it. I'm not telling any random person my business so they can tell me what I already know I need to do. The answers are always with God and inside. If you need your answers, hit them knees, pray on it, and they're gonna come to you. But for the conversation of relationships, you should want to build whoever you're with up and give them encouragement and give them guidance and give them information and give them nourishment and give them aid and all that. That's what we can do better. But everything else, I mean, is just being a human being. You know what I'm saying? A regular person.
I just want to say this real quick. To the brothers, this is something I do every morning, and I read this statement. So it's a passage going biblical with you real quick. Philippians 4:8. It says, finally, brothers, whatsoever is true, whatsoever is honorable, whatsoever is right, whatsoever is pure, whatsoever is lovely, whatsoever is admirable, if anything excellent or praiseworthy, think on these things.
Amen.
We looking at me, Amber. I'm not gonna say nothing about it.
Okay, I have a couple of questions from the audience, and then we're gonna wrap things up so we can have time to network and shop with the vendors. I'll let the vendors come up and introduce themselves. But I hope you all really enjoyed this discussion, and I hope that we can continue to uplift and empower each other, because we're all doing some amazing work, and we all Black. You know, I'm Black and I'm proud. I hope y'all Black and proud, and let's continue to build and empower each other. These questions are from the lovely ladies in the audience. What should a wife do when her spouse continuously has close relationships with female coworkers, but feel as though there isn't anything wrong with it?
I would say, I would say communicate with them and
Quit.
no, hold on, because communicate with him and let him know how it's feeling,
Right.
how he feeling,
Good.
how you making her feel. You know, communicate with her, and then also take yourself away from. If you trust him and you really trust him, take yourself away and say, maybe she helping my situation. She might be.
For a second. No, because I believe you should have a relationship.
Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Let him finish. Let him finish. Okay. Hold on, y'all. Let him finish. Let him talk. Hold on.
This is what happened.
Derek, hold on. Let me quiet down. Y'all hold on. Let me check out, brother. You ready? Go ahead.
This is what you can have somebody that you're not in a sexual relationship with, and this is just, you know, me and you friends. And she is telling me what I need to do for you when I get home. Buy her some flowers.
This is true.
Find something. Go on Sheen. Go get her a present. You don't know what this coworker may be adding to your relationship. If this is your true sister, you gotta know it's different. Every man don't want a woman like that. Just because we have a relationship, another woman on the job can add something to me that you can't give me because I'm in a sexual relationship with you. She can give me some advice, and I take that advice and give it over to my woman.
Okay, I came back.
You see what I'm saying? So just like my sister, my apples, I don't look at all women like, just because we kicking it don't mean you on the job, I gotta sleep with you. No, me, you just kicking it. We cool. We going out to lunch. I'm not trying to have sex with you or nothing like that. But if it is,
If it's creating issue.
if it's creating an issue, but that wasn't the question.
It was.
The woman.
It was.
How can she?
Because obviously the wife got a problem with it. Obviously the wife got a problem with it. So
What should a wife do when her spouse continuously has close relationships with female coworkers, but feel as though there isn't anything wrong with it. She has a problem
Can
with
I ask that? What's close?
Look at it from this
what's
perspective.
close.
What's close? Can I ask that?
But I'm saying, if a woman has a problem with her husband, right? Talk to him and say, hold on, this may not even be, don't, if you trust them, don't automatically think that it's something going on.
Okay, let me help with this question. So,
The question is, what should the wife do though?
I just said, trust your husband.
so if she, if,
Can I give an answer? Can I have?
Go ahead, let her-
Can we respond? You going out, and I'll get you back off you.
Real quick, but now this the second black man that I've seen land a plane upside down. So I want to give him a prize. It landed, you know, y'all had to give him time, but two, she needed to draw a line in the sand because without context, now I don't know how she even know about the relationships or why they continuous, all that. So all of that matters, but at the end of the day, she should know who he's dealing with at work already. But you draw that line in the sand on what you can deal with and what you cannot deal with, and you let them know, hey, if I hear anything other than this, and this, or if I see anything other than this, and this, you gotta stand on it. But you just gotta draw your line in the sand because your situation is in front of you. What you gonna do? It's that simple.
Oh, Lord. I'm short and sweet. Short and sweet. Like, when I'm talking to my brain. It's gonna be short and sweet. Yeah, that's me. I've been in a relationship. You talking about me. Whoever wrote that, we're not in a relationship, but thank you. You're talking about me. Right? I talk, anybody I've ever dated, we still best of friends. Anybody, co-workers, people talk to me, ask me for advice, I'm just as kind as I am to you all right now. And then we in a relationship, even my granddaughter said to me, Papa, I ain't flirting. I say to her, oh, I want you to know, I'll just compliment you, but I ain't flirting. Yeah. Right? Yeah. This is just me. I'll talk to people. I'm gonna talk to them. And so if you got issues with me, we may not need to be together. That part. So there's nothing wrong with her. It may be something wrong with me or that, because if that bothers you that much, then maybe you need to be with somebody different, right? And 9 out of 10, if you're married, the word for me was continuous. So what, like it just happened. Yeah. So lots of times we see these things and we still go in there and tell us, oh yeah, well, you know what they mean? I've been working with kids all my life. They didn't grew up now. They hugging out with my girls. They didn't know kids. That girl's one of my students. Y'all looking at me now. I'm 46 in the mirror. Right? So I'm still seeing people, they calling us somebody you just spoke to. Hey, Mr. Rick. Y'all been calling me Mr. Ricky today like I'm old. Like, hey, Mr. Ricky. So that's what I do. So if you dating somebody, whoever wrote that question, and if this is really bothering you, date someone else. Let the husband know that this ain't gonna work. You know what I mean? Because the word is continuously.
It is clear.
All
right. Oh, I'm sorry, sir. No. Oh, okay. Okay, so damn, the work wife though? You got to work. You know what I'm saying? Is she feeding them? Is she bringing them food to work? Because I've been to work some special treatment at work. I ain't like that. But not, and I will say this too, in light of you, yes, I have organic relationships with women as well. You know, so where that's not even on the agenda. You know what I'm saying? Even in the workspace. But yeah, that sounds like a work fight. It continuously. Continuously. That means she's heard something repeatedly about this, and it's offended her. So that means something has been done that offended her. Right. See what I'm saying? So I mean, it's going bad. It's starting to go bad. It's starting to go awry. So it's like my brother said, draw your line in the sand, baby. Draw your line in the sand, because if continuous, that means it's going to continue to happen. That means if you're going to be uncomfortable every time, it's going to be continue. The whole relationship is going to continue to happen until retire. And then when we retire, what are you going to do? Find somebody else to be a work wife. So it's like, yeah, draw your line in the sand continuously. Those words is, man, yeah, that's a work wife.
I appreciate y'all very much for y'all response. Go ahead.
So we're kind of obviously there's a context for this question. So I'm trying to be objective. What I can only assume, but in all honesty, this is a safety violation. We're not talking about somebody that's dating. This is a wife. So, and I'm a business therapist, so I would pull at these threads and it would be a lengthier process to understand what the root is, assuming that this is a person that either has had the husband has had these habits before the marriage or they developed them afterwards. More than likely, they already had them. And so then from the wife's standpoint, what did you see these habits or did it get progressively worse? And assuming that it is platonic, a lot of times as men, and I'm social as well, but I my portfolio is mostly professional women. I can interact with you in a meeting. You won't even know if I like you. Most men don't know how to do that. So I have to be honest about that. So if we probe deeper into the actual situation, I wouldn't be surprised if this man is playing in the gray. And so it could create a safety violation. And so that's a conversation for her to have honestly about how it's making her feel. And then to seek out, because it's a wife, to seek out therapy and solutions to be able to articulate that more appropriately to reach a resolution. It's because it's a wife situation.
Okay, I had two hands go up in the audience and then I have a lap full of questions. For the sake of time, I do want to honor those two ladies that I saw with their hands up. And so ask the questions and then it was you first, I saw you, then you, and then we'll check on time because I want the vendors to come up and I want us to have some time to really kind of conversate with each other. Go ahead. It's up to you.
I'm up here because.
Bonjour, great to everybody. How y'all feeling? So, the question again, because I want you to read the question so I can make sure I get clarity on those questions. And, my name is Mommy D, is what they call me. I am, a sacred, safe place for women. I also have a holistic homeschool for children of all ages, autistic and autism. So I'm speaking from right now from perspective, from a Black woman's perspective from that question. So just want to kind of get an introduction on who I was.
The question was, what should a wife do when her spouse continuously has close relationships with female coworkers, but feel as though there isn't anything wrong with it?
So for my Black women, first off, we always have to examine ourselves first and what feels safe with us. Because oftentimes when we get into a connection or relationship or a marriage or a partnership, whatever all those words may mean, right? Because we give all these different labels for different things. That really doesn't matter when it really boils down to what we feel is safe within us. So when you have someone that may be somebody that is energetically um, attractive, um, attracting other women as far as like in conversations or whatever reason as that may be, because can't one person possibly be everything for somebody? That's just my belief, right? And so oftentimes when we go into work, sometimes work is away from home where it's our time to kind of sometimes be free because sometimes at home we have a different responsibility, we wear a different hat. And so as a woman dealing with somebody that may go out and have that type of energy, right? Whether it be a work husband or work wife, whatever you want to call it, we have to understand that if I'm secure within myself, then what does that matter? Right? And where do I lie in what the conversation will be with him when he comes home? Because if he comes home and he's having a conversation about what's going on at work, because obviously he may have a conversation and say, hey, Keisha said this. And now your mouth twisted. Why?
Right.
What? He should say what Keisha or whoever said at work on a conversation that they had, because he may spend 12 hours there. He may spend 8 hours there. But when he comes home to you. So what does it look like for your relationship? And then what does it look like for his relationship outside of work? And are you, sometimes women too, we entertain things too.
Yeah.
So are you feeling like what you're doing may be something different than what he's doing, or maybe you doing something different when you out there connecting? So you have to sometimes go back and examine yourself because it all boils back to us and feeling secure in who we are and feeling secure in who we're dating, married to, partnering with. And that's not even just in people that is a opposite sex. That's with people that's the same sex. As a sister. I mean, it's all around in who we are and what we want to validate for ourselves and what it looks like to be safe for us and not safe. Because if we don't have that understanding, then everything you do is going to be a problem.
Yeah.
Right?
everything you say or do. You may go out to the store and talk to somebody and you're like, oh, so you know her too? Yeah, you know me. What's up with that? Like you might need to get to know her. I've been that cool, that woman on what you may want to call what you call a sister, a work wife. I've been that work wife, but what I've also done is when I've seen that wife, I've identified with her where she's at and let her know where I'm at and let her know what it is. So therefore now between sister and sister, you can feel safe with me. I don't know about nobody else, but with me, this is what it is. So therefore women can identify the motives of other women when they see women in the room.
Yeah, that's right.
Amber, can I respond to that?
Yes.
That was powerful.
You've been saying amen the whole time. Amen.
I am no confused. Okay, for the sake of time, you're
I
gonna
give you
ask,
2 minutes.
yeah, you're gonna do yours, and then I'll have you answer your question. And what I'll do is to honor those who written down the questions, I'll just ask those questions and let y'all ponder on it and think about it, and we'll save it for next time. Okay? Thank you.
Okay, real quick. I agree with what you said, but I think it also matters what's going on within the relationship.
That's
How does
right.
the man treat his woman?
That's right.
Because if he treats his woman and she knows he stepped out, he's flirtatious, and then he talking about a work wife, like what else am I supposed to deal with? So it really depends on how that man treats his woman, and if he treats her and let her know she has nothing to worry about, then okay, have your work wife, have your friend, because I may have my work husband. But if I know you quick to step
I don't
out,
like the way you said work.
Was that a trigger?
it kind of varies on what's going on within, in my opinion.
Well, thank you for sharing our.
Guarantee you.
I wrote this down.
Must be important.
So what I hear is if a husband is continuously having relationships with people he works with, a wife is faced with a deep, painful, and complex situation. She needs to acknowledge her reality, and her reality is that this behavior is repeated betrayal. It's not a misunderstanding or one-time mistake, it's a pattern. So that matters. Fully acknowledge the emotional and relational harm it's causing you and protect your peace. You don't need to compete with betrayal. Your self-worth is not determined by how much you can endure. Prioritize your emotional safety and clarity, which means you might have to create distance, physical, emotional, or both, to think without being manipulated or gaslit or guilted. Confront him with clarity. I know what you've been doing. I see the pattern. I'm not interested in living in denial or allowing you to disrespect me. This is not the kind of marriage I want. And you make your choice. And you give him what ultimately would seem like an ultimatum. At the end of the day, your responsibility is you first, right? And I do understand it's marriage, right? It's supposed to be long suffering. It's supposed to be, forever and all. But at the end of the day, it actually goes both ways as well. So the respect goes both ways, the honor goes both ways, and one of the questions that you probably should confront him with is, hey, how would you feel if would it be okay if because the reality is, a lot of times work wives don't know about real wives. And so here they are playing work wife. Here they are playing work wife, doing all the things, thinking that they're building something or creating something with your husband. And he don't even, he know what he did, right? He's just enjoying the attention. But he don't even realize he's getting sucked into a web that he potentially might not be able to pull himself out of.
Well, you might get aware of something.
And that's what I said. Right? And sometimes they are very aware of it. what's happening, but because they like the attention. They like what they're getting from the work life. Um, they indulge. And some men assume that because their wives aren't at work with them 24, for the 8 or 12 hours they're at work, these are things that they'll never know, never find out. But if you know your spouse, you know their behaviors, right? So you know who they are day to day. You know them emotionally, you know them spiritually, you know them mentally, you know them physically. And so when change is transpiring or has transpired, you see it, you feel it, you know it. I used to know when my husband cheated on me. I used to know it by his behavior. I used to know it during intimacy. You know your spouse. So you know whether it's just harmless, work fun, work relationship, or whether it's something deeper. And obviously it's something deeper, because if it wasn't, you wouldn't be asking the question. Thank you.
Let's get to the
But I also want to mention the fact that this is not just a discussion, it's a dialogue.
Right.
The difference between a discussion and a dialogue, in a discussion, we're trying to change views. In a dialogue, I hear you and you hear me.
That's right.
So I want us to stay in that vein as well.
Yeah.
It's a dialogue. We don't have to correct everybody, you don't have to change anything, but in a dialogue, I heard you. You hear me. So thank you for sharing.
So for the sake of time, I really want to appreciate all of you for coming back, especially the ones that came back for part 4.
4 times.
4 times we have done this conversation. We're going to continue as long as you all are willing to share your. Go ahead and book it.
Hey.
But stay tuned. I hope y'all really enjoyed this. I have some surveys at the signing table. If you'll grab a survey, that kind of helps me or help the team serve you all in a better way, provide more topics, more food, whatever we can do to help better serve our community. These surveys help us do that. So for the sake of time, I would like for my vendors to come over here and line up. I'm going to ask the questions that the audience wrote down on the paper. And then once I ask those questions, I just want you to think about those questions. Shop the bookshop, mix and mingle. We have extra food. And let's have a good time. So these few questions that I have, hold on one second, Mr.
Oh, you don't want us to?
No, I don't want y'all to leave. How do you define success for yourself, but not by the world standards, by your own souls? How do you define love as a Black man? You all indicated truth was affected by how the woman responds, but the issue would be your action, not whether or not you tell it. Do each of you feel that you personally respect a woman's right to know and choose even when it does not work in your favor?
Y'all can ask us those questions and we'll respond personally.
Okay.
Right to know what?
Whatever she asks personally.
Or whatever she has personally. 7 laws of Nat. Mayat. I'm sorry. 7 laws of Mayat. Truth, justice. You said 42?
42 total.
What is it? Harmony, order, balance, reciprocity. What method would you use to bring this 7 laws of Maya into fruition for any relationship? Maya. Balance. Okay.
And for the record, while she's looking, that longer question was mine. It was talking about the question with truth earlier, where y'all said, if you tell the truth, she might leave, you might not get your way, that kind of thing. So I was asking, do you respect a woman's right to know and choose regardless? Because the issue isn't whether or not you tell her, it's whatever you did. You know what I mean? So can you be honest about what you do?
It's always about doing something.
You would be accountable? And I just wanted to know personally, like, would you guys be accountable? Like, if you cheated, the issue is not whether or not you tell her, it's that you cheated. So if she chooses to leave, are you okay with that? Black men don't cheat? Okay.
Thank y'all for coming out.
I'm not gonna play with you.
Okay, and the last book. Last but not least, Are black men intimidated by black women? That's next time. So y'all tune in to Sisterhood Foundation and Doc Bookshop. I'm gonna let the vendors announce who they are and shop the vendors and let's network and have a good time. We'll take a group picture. Men, please stay on stage. We're gonna let the vendors talk and then we'll take a group picture.
Thank y'all for having us.
Well, we went, great job.
Good evening, everybody.
You need a drink?
Okay, I'm here with my wife. We are blessed to help. We have a variety of stuff. We have men's hat. Father's Day is coming up. So salute to the fathers. And we have some Father's Day items such as cufflinks. We have silk bow tie sets. We have silk tie sets. And by sets, the tie comes with the handkerchief and the cufflinks. And we also have men's and women's socks. Crazy socks, fun socks, whatever you want to call them. We also have the hats. We have the some brooches for the women. And we have men's wallets. And make sure I don't miss anything. Tie set, cufflinks, t-shirts. We have Father's Day, inspired t-shirts. And the hats, the wallets, brooches, paracord bracelets, like the man got earlier. Chicago. And that's it. So come over there and check us out. We have reasonable prices, nothing over $25. So
You forgot to say you got the cat up there.
right here. Oh yeah, man. Hey everybody, how y'all doing? Name's Ed Willoughby, owner. Name's Ed Willoughby, owner of Our Buckets. Been around since 2022. I probably did 20 vendor events here at the dock. I sell sunglasses, purses, hats, sports hats. I sell wallets too, but I didn't want to intervene on somebody else that was selling wallets. And I also sell other accessories. Just come check me out in the back. Nothing today is over $15. Or normally never over $20. And I do run specials.
Represent my wife today back there in the back. The name of her business is J-Co Designs. She everything that's on the table back there is handmade. She made it with her own hands and love. Earrings. She does crochet. She does beaded jewelry. We have purses, messenger bags, wallets, earrings, just about anything you can think of from a creativity wise. You got sorority, you want sorority colors, she'll hook that up for you as well. Anything Divine Nine, that type of stuff right there. We heavy on our Unk line to get those things out. And I don't think anything on the table back there is, like you said, is over $20.
Okay, we're gonna take a couple of pictures and then everyone can shop the bookshop, shop the vendors, and let's network and have a good time. The event is over at 6 p.m., so enjoy yourselves and make some good, positive business connections. We have some talented people in the room. Let's elevate and let's